Payable Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Install the Payable Forms add-on, link your payment provider, share, and get paid. Your customers can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Save time and hassle by automating your payment process quickly and simply. Payable Forms gets you paid.
Good afternoon, everyone, from the beautiful campus of Humber College in Etobicoke, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, on the grounds of Colonel Samuel Smith Park. This is the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup presented by Payable Apps. This is the 9th and final game of the round-robin portion of the men's competition. This is the end of day 6 and the 3rd and final game thereof, and it features the Great Britain Bulldogs and Los Jaguares de Colombia. This is a very intriguing game. There are still some semifinal permutations. If you believe the form, well, this game might be a foregone conclusion, but that's not why they play on paper. Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Barish. Great to have your company. Delighted to be joined for the first time this tournament from Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, where the Rapids run fierce and so does the beer. It's a very good afternoon to David Smith.
Hello, hola to everybody listening and watching here from Humber College. It is Colombia and Great Britain. Let's look at the key play. Oh, sorry for the standings, where Colombia is currently sitting 6th on the ladder. They're 0-2 actually. Great Britain is currently undefeated. Actually, the only undefeated team currently in the men's competition. Yeah, after Ireland fell down to the USA today. Let's take a look at the players to watch, David, and there's going to be 2 very important players on both sides. Absolutely. Sergio Torres, a mid from the Bogota Bulldogs, the key player for Colombia. Also key because he's their translator in this tournament, which could be really important for them. For Great Britain, it's the forward Jack Coughlin. And now we take a look at our keys of the game. Some very important keys brought to you by our friends here at There Live. And for Colombia, it's going to be a bit of a challenge for them, but they have to stay loose. I mean, this is going to be a very difficult next 80 minutes. They're going to play a good time. They have to stay in front of the ball, and they have to be able to switch play. Their speed might be able to get them out of jail. And for Great Britain, they have to stay healthy. They don't want to get a lot of injured players before the semifinals. They will be playing in the semifinals. Constant leads. Movement's going to be important, and to hit those targets. There is a situation where they may miss out, and Colombia would probably have to win by about 40 points. And if that were the case, France would sneak in over Great Britain. Colombia, all they need is a draw from this match, and they would get in, and Canada would be out. Let's go, Jaguares. Let's go, Bulldogs. Let's go, David Smith. Off the hands of Alejandro Marin for the Colombian players, but the ball's just on the ground, off a bunch of hands. This will be a free kick for Colombia. Number 24, Javier Souza. He's their vice captain. He kicks it towards their forward 50. High ball, lots of players under the ball. It goes towards a Colombian player. He tries to perform the no argue, but doesn't get it forward. Just bouncing off of hands. Going the right direction for Colombia, but they don't get control. Here's a whistle, and the umpire will say, hey, I want it now. Umpire Kevin Murray from nearby Maple, Ontario, tosses the ball to the heavens, knocked forward, and a good opportunity now as the ball tumbles out of bounds, and the umpire raises her hand as if she's calling for well, she says, I want a hot dog. But, Toronto, the Blue Jays would have been a good place to grab one of those. I don't know what I'm saying, as the ball will come spinning back into play as they are kicking towards the Toronto City Center end. As the ball comes spinning back into play, they'll play it even though it was short. Ball is loose. Colombia trying to get it out, and it is holding the ball. It'll be a free kick. They're going to play on quickly. Here comes Colombia with an opportunity. Big tackle. Now the question is, no, it was a push in the back. It'll be a free kick, and it'll go back from whence it came. And so far here in the first minute and a half, Colombia, David, is getting the sway of play. Good start for Colombia here. Sergio Torres, free kick. See if there's another forward 50 entry for Colombia. It's been in there, and there's an injured player on the ground here for Great Britain.
Just got our eyeballs on it, and coming from the ground quickly. They have a couple of outs, and maybe perhaps saving a couple of players, including their leading scorer Andy Walkden. We aren't sure as to his injury status, but the player is coming from the ground slowly. Now he is coming towards the interchange gates. That's the only place where players can legally enter and leave the ground. If he was injured and he was being taken out the side, he would be done for the game. So here is, for Colombia, Sergio Torres, who is waiting for all to be in readiness. He currently stands, we'll say that's about 65 meters from his target. And we are underway again as Torres drops the ball. Oh, good look underneath and finding a great pass, and Souza. And Javier Souza will go back. A great spearing look from Torres.
Smart play by Alejandro Marin, too, who didn't get in his way. Sometimes you'll see that. Players getting teammates in their way. Going up to kick. Here's the kick. Long one, looking all right. Not quite enough distance. That will be behind for Colombia. So they actually open the scoring on the Payable app's scoreboard.
Plenty of time to go, 3 minutes gone. A reminder, if Colombia does not lose, if they get a result here, a draw or a win, they are on to the semifinals against the USA, and Canada is out. That would be a huge shock, but plenty of time to go. Drop the pill, no call. Turning on a dime there is Oscar Marin. Sends that one forward. Goes off of a Bulldog leg. Now they go and they go the other way. Quickly there is Coughlin. Coughlin was the best player in the last game against the USA. They're going to try and get him as many touches as possible. Ball gets sent back in the other way. They're just scooping it off the ground. Picked that one up and didn't get a clean disposal there. And now sending this one back. Hook shot in towards the 50-meter arc. They're going to roll. It'll skip. It'll hop. There again, digging after it is Hodgson, who is big on the wing. And the ball skitters out of bounds. And we'll have a boundary throw in. Another good opportunity for first good opportunity inside 50 for Great Britain, who trail 1-0 after 4 minutes.
We're down to visitmississauga.ca end. The end certainly that Great Britain wants it. It's a 1-0 lead here for Colombia early in the first quarter. That's off hands. Alejandro Marin for Colombia in there. Colombia tries to clear. That's offhand, no mark, but Colombia does pick it up. Is that holding the ball? It is. It'll be a free kick to Great Britain. So probably too far to score. This is number 20, Joe Moore of the Sussex Swans. He does boxing and is engaged to a police officer. So I wouldn't mess with him.
Especially since his go-to song allegedly is Tom Jones's Sex Bomb.
Well, he also will be happy with this. It's a 50-meter penalty.
Yep.
So he's going to have a much easier kick at goal here. No gimme, though. See if Great Britain can kick the first goal of this game.
Especially in the swirling wind, David.
Yeah, the wind has picked up here, so it looks pretty good. But it's left, so you can't rely on my eyesight, apparently. And we're tied at 1.
We have 8 eyes over here, and none of them work. And we have binoculars, and that just multiplies. That's 16 eyes.
It just makes it worse, really.
And they'll bring the ball back into play from the Visit Mississauga end, and you should visit Mississauga. The missus and I was doing that last night. We visited Streetsville. It was pretty cool. Out to the near side. Look at Colombia swarm over the football. This is good play. This is not going to be an easy game here for Great Britain, and there's taken down, and we will have a free kick. It will go the way of Great Britain. It was, oh no, I'm sorry, they were pointing the wrong way, or were they? Yeah, they were. I thought that was the case. So free kick. Goes out the near side, and right on a dime is Callum Jenkinson, who had a runner and instead goes in the middle of the ground and turns it over. Out the far side now, little worm burner. Swinging around once again, there was Corrales, beg your pardon. There's a mark on the far side. Great Colombia, so far, I've been very impressed with them. And it looks like a mark. They're bringing everybody. It looks like a defensive mark, or yep, it is a free kick. Beg your pardon. So free kick will go to Andy Orozco. Believe the 91. Sending this one across the center square, wide open with an easy-peasy mark is Oscar Marin. He'll play in quickly, sending this one in. 2 players back there over the back. No, there was a man to take the crumb through the hands of Zuleta and then try to go in the middle. Handball over. Maybe should have put the foot on the boot, or the boot on the ball, something along those lines. Corral's out in the middle of the ground. Going to get picked up, almost told over. It's like a yellow and white tumbleweed situation. And the umpire, what has he spotted here? He says, give that to me. We'll have a ball up just to the left of the center circle. 1-1 the score, more than 7 minutes gone. First turn for Payable Apps.
Koffel with the tackle to cause the ball up there. He is Joe Moore on the ruck there. Great Britain gains control. Low, long kick here, going towards the visit Mississauga.ca end. That's the end Great Britain wants it. Some kind of handballs there. Doesn't really hit the target. Here's a pickup, and some space here for Great Britain. Kick towards goal, and they like it. It's a goal, number 25, Matthew Gallagher, and Great Britain gets the first goal in this game to go ahead by 6 points. Just approaching 8 minutes gone here in the first quarter.
Yeah, good play by Great Britain, and this is what we saw them do against the Americans, just pushing the ball down the guts, and a great job by Gallagher to run onto it. We do have a man down. Well, he is getting up, and the question is whether or not, yeah, he looks like he'll be okay. You know what, David, we mentioned this in the Ireland game. We saw this a fair bit.
Thank you.
Especially we saw this affect the Irish.
We got an extra ball down
it's
there
not
too,
just
so you don't have to chase it.
It's not just game management, it's tournament management. And so these teams are going to be playing 5 games over the course of 9 days, and so it's how fit and how unblemished you can say. You can hear umpire Murray mic'd up for us as he tosses the ball to the heavens. It helps us, also gives you an idea. This was a big boom, baby, looking for the full forward. It was over his head, bounces away from Adam Reed, and it's going to get cleared out the far side. Looking for a mark and finding one. They'll play on quickly. As this one is sent up on the far side now. Going to pop up in the air. Oh, he just managed to keep his feet somehow. Has a bounce, has a look. He should have a second one. Runs 14.5 meters. Sends this one down the line. Picked out of the air nicely, I believe, by Oliver Louis.
Here's a kick towards goal, but that will be too far right and a behind for Great Britain. Great Britain getting some flow here. 1 goal, 2 behinds, 8 points for Great Britain, 1 behind for Colombia here in the Payable App scoreboard. We're approaching halfway through this first quarter. Colombia will try to clear.
Yeah, I think the key, David, will be how they can do out of this back line. I mean, they have to be able, they did so the first time out the back. They have to link 3 or 4 completions together.
Certainly inexperienced teams, that's often the most difficult thing to do, is to just get it out of your own end once it's there. So lots of off hands here, picked up on the Lake Ontario side of the ground. That ball, it couldn't be marked by Reese, but it does go Great Britain's hands. Here's a kick. It goes towards the hot spot, just outside, and there's a tackle. And I believe this is going to be a ball up.
It is.
Just outside of the goal square in the Great Britain, in the Visit Mississauga. .ca.
That's the voice of David Smith. I'm the voice of Brian Barish, and we have an infraction. In fact, it was holding off the ball. And so Great Britain the Bulldogs will have an opportunity. Give that to the number 16 and Oliver Louis. Louis from London plays for the Wandsworth Demons, had a lung collapse last year, and he is back. And he has been a prime mover for the Bulldog side. So Louis currently stands about 30 meters out. Angle shouldn't be an issue. Really, distance shouldn't be either. Wind is blowing slightly, and he has kicked that one straight over the goal umpire's hat. Goal to the Great Britain Swans and Oliver Louis, and that takes them on to 2-2-14. Colombia, 1.9 to go first term.
After Colombia with a bit of a hot start, Great Britain has taken over a little bit here and have gotten out to a 13-point lead. Certain territorial as well has been more Great Britain. They've been able to defend the times when it's been in their defensive 50, and they've been being able to get kicks at goal.
Yeah, and the one thing as well, I think it's going to come down to how many completed trips down the field Colombia is going to get, because Great Britain has been good at moving the ball, and here they come again.
Ball on the ground. Alejandro Marin just bats at it. There will be kicking in danger, I believe, and that will be Colombian ball, a Colombian free kick. See if they can get some flow going. It's number 5, I think, Miguel Franco.
Yep.
Here's a kick. White numbers on a yellow background is not great for my eyes. Anyway, here's a mark for Great Britain. Number 9, Ryland, kicks it towards the wing.
We just don't do that.
Great Britain does get control, tackled right away. That's going to be the umpire's ball and a ball up. Just in front of the scoreboard there on the far side of the field.
Yeah, we hear Kevin Murray. He has done multiple USAFL Nationals. He's done the 49th Parallel Cup. This is his 25th year of umpiring, and actually played here in AFL Ontario for 25 seasons, and he's a retired teacher. He was telling me that he'd love to travel down in the States a little bit more to do some more of our tournaments down south as the ball gets skittered forward. There is Adam Reed, who has skipped up. He took a player down behind the play, and it will be a free kick. We will see to whom. And Reed coming over and saying, no worries, mate, except he's British, so I don't know if he would sound like this. And it's Andre Zuleta. Zuleta, who plays for the other team in Colombia, the Antioquia Lions, and enjoys swimming. So does my daughter. She just learned. In fact, she told us all about it. As this one is sent in, and it's going to get knocked backwards off the free kick. There is Zuleta again going after the football. Ball cried the crowd. Ball says the umpire. Free kick for Great Britain. 6.5 to go. First term Payable app scoreboard here in Toronto in the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup. GB up 13.
Diving attempt at a mark doesn't work. Colombia kicks it towards their forward 50, but there's an intercept mark by Great Britain. Looking to slow it down a little bit here. Big kick in midfield. That looked like way over the shoulders, and that will be a free kick to Great Britain. We are approaching 6 minutes left here in this first quarter. Great Britain leads by 13. This will be to number 16, Oliver Louis of the Wandsworth Demons. Plays on. Here's a kick into Great Britain forward 50. Finds grass. There's another whistle.
Colombia!
And a Colombia free kick. So this will get them out of danger.
And just Ross Denton saying go back there a little bit because he got a little bit too close. And, you know, these players for Colombia, they've played a fair bit of football back home. They don't have the experience as some of these other teams, but you can't really tell from time. Sometimes you can tell and sometimes you can't. It is very much a Jekyll and Hyde situation as the ball comes forward right in front of us. Scooping it up was Matty Morris, going all the way back and finding Ollie Hoban. This one is sent in, cleared out now by the Jaguars, and it's picked up. Going the other way now is Ryland. Owen Ryland now goes up the far side, and now they look for, as they switch the field of play. That's what they have to do. They need to switch it and switch it fast, except they turn it over on that occasion to Corrales, and Corrales finds a friendly face out on the wing. That's the Lake Ontario side. We, of course, are on the Either Live Sports side, Either Live side, and up on the far side, we will have a ball up on the in the Colombian attacking half-forward flank.
Approaching 4.5 minutes left here in the first quarter. We have a boundary throw-in. Midfield. High boundary throw-in. It is collected by 18, but there's a whistle. Lopera for Colombia.
Let it drop. Okay.
And it looks like another boundary throw in here.
You can hear umpire Murray. It's great that we have him mic'd up. Thanks for Either Live, and he's hearing. You can hear his instructions to some of the players as this one is banged inside 50. 2-on-2 contest, but the cavalry arrives. The herd of Bulldogs. And that one is sent out on the far side. It will go in. It will stay in play. In fact, Reese was unable to keep the ball inside the boundary line and is out of play. 3:45 to go first term. Great Britain up by 13.
Great Britain up by 13. Will be a boundary throw in here in the pocket for the Colombian end of the ground, Colombian scoring end. There goes the ball. Ball gets us batted forward. Here is, I believe, Tobin. It's not. Couple bounces. He keeps running. Here's another bounce. The third one still going. There's a kick towards and a nice mark. That was actually O-line Ryland. What a run through the midfield. A perfect kick and a nice mark there by number 25, Matthew Gallagher, looking for his second goal of the game.
And they're going to move him closer because it looks like there was a downfield free kick. So they're going to move him right in front. And yeah, who's that? Andrew who ran through? No, that was Ryland who ran all the way through. And I'll tell you what, David, he looked like Brent Harvey sprinting through the middle of the MCG for a minute.
4 bounces, I believe. Ooh. Maybe more than most teams here in this tournament so far.
So the kick is up on the way. It is dead center, perfect. And you can give that to the number 25 in Matthew Gallagher.
His second goal of the game.
Second for the Bulldogs. They go to 2-2-14. And Columbia 1 behind. Or is it 3? 3-2-14, beg your pardon. 3-2-20. And 1 behind with 2 minutes to go in the first term. Brian Barish alongside David Smith. Glad to have your company as well here at Colonel Sam Smith Park. And just on the other side of those trees is the banks of Lake Ontario. Took a walk over there. It's a very, very nice shoreline. You walk far enough, you can see the CBD, the Central Business District, so to speak, of Toronto. We have a ball up.
Off hands of number 20, Joe Moore, rucking for Great Britain. Picked up. Great Britain now gaining some real control here. Here's Tobin. Tobin kick towards, off the defender hands for Columbia. Just bats it forward. That's in the back, and that will be a free kick to Columbia. That will relieve some pressure. We are less than 90 seconds remaining here in this first quarter. That ball is over all the heads. Picked up by Great Britain. That's a nice little turnaround. Prevents the tackle there. No mark, but Great Britain with control. Touches the ball on the ground, turns around, kicks over the head of Louis. Just batted. Here is a beautiful play. But left of the post, and that will be behind. Beautiful play to bat the ball to his teammate, but the kicking let him down.
And I was going to say, and Gallagher was not only inches away from his third of the game, he was inches away from a Payable apps goal of the tournament nominee. And so it's 3-3-21 to 1 behind. 30 seconds to go, first term or thereabouts. Remember, that's an unofficial clock out to the near side, and Great Britain's going to be in front of this, and seeing the ball all the way was Roberts. Edward Roberts now is in between right wing and the right half forward position. Ball bounces in front, a left around the corner, if you don't mind. One bouncing through for a behind. Believe that is umpire Daniel Estes, who has come all the way up from Chicago, and Great Britain goes to 3-4-22 to 1 behind, just seconds to go. And in fact, we are playing, as we mentioned, we had that injury there, so they may have stopped the clock, and ours kept running, and they will play it on here. They will send this, so this is time on essentially. Mark taken in the middle of the ground. They got a kick in a hurry, and somebody's got to tell him as this one is put on. Good little, wow, that's a good little chip kick to find Corrales. Corrales will send on. Time on here in the first quarter as this one is sent in on a one-on-one contest. Goes over the pack. Oh, that is a fortuitous bounce. Throws this one up on the left. They may actually get a chance here as the ball goes in. It's a one-on-one contest. Everybody overruns it. And a couple of Bulldogs going A over proverbial T. Handballs it out. Looking into the middle, and it did not go 15 meters, so it is not a mark. And we will have a ball up, and it will occur in the left half forward flank for Columbia. Cannot be much time left, David.
No.
In fact, there it is.
Go. A prophetic comment there by Brian Barish.
Well, the part of the 10% of my life where I'm actually right.
Yeah, the prophecies of Brian Barish. Anyway, that ends the first quarter. Spirited quarter and some spirited play by Columbia, but after a strong start, Great Britain certainly took control as the quarter went on.
Yeah, they really did. And that's the thing, is that Colombia is going to have these great passages of play, and I think you're going to see more and more of them as they learn. The trick is how they can sustain it. Great Britain's a good side. They're undefeated so far, and at this point, you have to, especially after Ireland getting banged up the way they did against the U.S., and we'll go into that a little bit later, but you have to figure Great Britain, right now, they might be, along with the U.S., might be sitting as favorites. Ireland, of course, is still very much in the conversation, but that's going to be the key, is can Colombia sustain this over 4 quarters? I think it's going to be very difficult.
Well, just the experience and class of the Great Britain Bulldogs side. It's certainly a big challenge for Colombia, but you really see their improvement over the course of the tournament, but there's nothing that you can do with the experience of Great Britain. They know what to do when they have the ball. They know where to go from a defending standpoint, and certainly that first quarter showed it.
Well, we're going to take a break, as the players are doing now, to get some water. We'll come right back for the second quarter of this one. You're watching the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup from Toronto, and you're watching it thanks to Payable apps.
Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Install the Payable Forms add-on, link your payment provider, share, and get paid. Your customers can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Save time and hassle by automating your payment process quickly and simply. Payable Forms gets you paid.
Play for fun. Play for fitness. Play for glory. Play for community. Play for club. Play for country. Play for each other. Play because you love playing. Play footy. Visit aflcanada.com and find a club near you today.
And back here at Colonel Sam Smith Park on the campus of Humber College in Etobicoke, just to the south of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup presented by Payable Apps. Just coming out onto the field now, the teams for the second quarter of this one, as the Great Britain Bulldogs lead the Colombia Jaguares, 22-1. Brian Barish alongside David Smith. And Dave, after 20 minutes of play, as you mentioned, a very spirited game. Let's see what Colombia can do here. They're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination, but they need to start doing a couple of things right, I think.
I mean, Great Britain just has class with the ball, and Colombia hasn't shown that so far. A lot of spirit, though. They're certainly in on the contest. No argument there, but they certainly need more class if they're going to get back into this game. Well, note the goals, kickers for Great Britain in that first quarter. It was Matthew Gallagher with 2 and Olivier Louis with 1.
Oliver Louis, yep, that's absolutely right. Yeah, that's okay. Olivier, we've made you French, sorry. And once again, repeating, the winner of this game is in. A draw would see both teams go into the semifinals. There are some permutations if Colombia wins that would knock Great Britain out. Second quarter is underway. Here's David Smith.
Great Britain gains control off the ruck. Here's number 40, Jacob Tucker, kicks it towards Great Britain forward 50. Battle for the ball. Over the back there, rolled over the back, but Colombia player has it. Picked up by Great Britain, now kick towards goal, and there's a quick one there for Great Britain. Fourth goal of this game that really early here in the second quarter. Stephen Welton kicks it, and that's a great start for Great Britain. Not so much for the Los Jaguares. Easy for me to say.
Jaguares.
Yeah, something like that.
That's okay. 4-4.
My brother would be ashamed of my Spanish there, but good start for Great Britain as they get the early goal.
As it's 28-1 now on the Payable app scoreboard, and yeah, right off the bat there, a great goal by Stephen Welton. A little bit about that young man. He plays down in the Brighton area for the Sussex Swans. He's doing his master's in physiotherapy, which is pretty impressive. They call him Pup. And in fact, they were talking about him the other day as he was playing well in the forward line, and the umpire. Oh, nope. They aren't going to give him 50. I think that's a great job by umpire Murray not to give the 50. You have to give the ball straight back away, and Tucker sends that one in. He decided to use discretion is the better part of valor there, and doesn't get up. They don't get the 50 meters. And Great Britain ends up squeezing 1 point out of that possession. On the Payable app scoreboard, they go to 4-5-29. Los Jaguares are still at 1 behind. Now I'm just showing off. Sorry.
All right, I'll get you to help me out at halftime with the pronunciation there.
I think you can get away with just calling them the Jaguars. It's okay.
Let's go with Jaguars. As they try to clear out of their defensive 50. That's a big jump there, but can't come down with the mark. Was, I believe, number 15, Skeever. Or Skeever? Skeever, I guess. Anyway, that'll be umpire says, I'll take the ball.
It's Sever.
Sever. You're just giving me all the proper pronunciations here.
Well, it's Peter Holden. He's the one that put these together. Thanks, Pete.
Great job, Peter.
Yeah, it's the ball.
Going to be another ball up. We've had a couple here, a few in a row. Towards the Toronto end, Great Britain scoring end here. They have control. Here's number 27, Welton. He was the goal kicker. Here's it right to number 14, but he kicks it wide. That's Patrick Statham. And that's another behind for Great Britain. They've certainly had all the control in this quarter so far.
They got a 4-6-30 to 1 behind, 29-point lead. Statham, 29 years of age, plays for Tyne Tees Tigers. Alliteration is their thing up in Newcastle as they will send this one back into play. Pretty good boot from the fullback there, but unfortunately not to the right jumper number, and it is Matt Morris who has the football. The man from the Cardiff Panthers goes out to the far side where it's marked, and they will play on quickly. Looking now and throwing that one on to the left, going down into the pocket. It'll roll, it'll skip, it'll stay in. And there once again is Hodgson with the football playing up in the forward line, and he is carried out of bounds. A quick on the Vision Glass Toronto standings. The U.S. winning today in a 2-point thriller over Ireland have won Group A. Canada have lost. They're 0-3. But if Colombia lose, they are still into the semifinals out of the Americas group thanks to a superior percentage as this one is kicked off the ground. And that one is there. And I believe that's off the foot of Oliver Louis. And that is his second of the game. 6th of the afternoon fifth of the afternoon. No, I was right. 6th of the afternoon. They go to 5-6-36. I was right the first time. 5-6-36 to 1 behind. Almost 5 minutes gone.
Great Britain certainly taking control here in the second quarter. Colombia has no answers right now for Great Britain, as Great Britain has the 35-point lead. We're approaching 5 minutes into the second quarter. They also win this tap. Kick here by Reed, and a downfield free kick, and I believe it's going the way of the Bulldogs. Yes, so this will be
just waiting to see who has the ball.
It's number 22, David Hodgson from the Tyne Tees Tigers.
And you get just off of camera. In fact, you can kind of see umpire Kevin Murray again explaining to the Colombian player what exactly happened. This is very much a learning experience. Here's Coughlin's. Here is Hodgson's kick.
Hodgson with the kick. Oh, that's straight through. No doubt there in the trees and between the posts. There's a goal for Hodgson. He plays golf, and that's right in the hole there for him. And Great Britain continues to roll here on the Payable app scoreboard. It's 6 goals, 6 behinds, 42 points to Colombia's 1 behind, 1 point.
Probably the easiest hole-in-one he'll ever get. And we saw Hodgson yesterday in the U.S., or 2 days ago in the U.S. game, David, really kind of take the lead on the wing position. It was right here in front of our eThere Live apps, eThereLive.com scoreboard, or rather commentary position, and really bullied people off the football, and there he picks up a goal as we're underway again, and they are just misers, our Great Britain. They are right there with the football and going to stay with it. Soccering that one back was Juan Chia, and now turned over right into the chest there, off the foot of Edward Roberts. Going to get sent back from whence it came, just over the hands, and now digging after it is Ryland. Ryland has the football. He turns it over. Here's an opportunity now for Colombia. Hooking that one around was Palacios, sending that one in over many hands, right in front, and kept in play somehow by the Swans. They're going to turn it over, and they're going to be able to release through Ryland. They got a get out of jail card right there, David.
It's the Bulldogs, kick down the line, just through the hands there, but picked up by Coughlin. That handball goes into the Colombian player. Ball on the ground, big battle for it. Tobin in there, that's kicked out, and that could be out on the full, as that was kicked by Coughlin. Will the umpire call it?
Boundary umpire Ellen DeVries has called over the field umpire in Walter Gibellaro, and in fact they have confirmed that it is out of bounds on the full. That is great teamwork with our umpires, and you know what, David, we talk about there's 12 playing teams here, but this 13th team, the one in green, probably the most important of them all, as Javier Sousa sends the ball into the pocket. It is marked defensively, and that ends that. So here it is in the left back pocket. He's a little bit of footballing jiggery pokery. Sends this one down the line. Good mark. Taken right in front of us by Coughlin. Coughlin doesn't have a goal yet. He's playing out on this wing position. Goes into the middle of the ground. Good connection. Look at them. They're doing a great job finding Louis with a couple of goals. And they are spreading the field and switching it. And it doesn't need to be one big booming kick. It's not like in soccer. This is a big field. As Jenkinson turns and fires this one on the way. It's a cross, but right there waiting in Richard Marks fashion is Kai Andrew.
Ed Roberts, I think it's no, it is 5. You're right. Kai Andrew.
My terrible eyes were better than you. Yeah. He is in his first full season of playing Aussie rules after just playing last year. Strides forward 3 steps and ba-bam, into the trees and through the post. To grandmother's house we go. And on the Payable app scoreboard, it's Great Britain pulling away. 7-6-48. 47-point lead over Los Jaguares. One behind. 9 minutes played, second term. Here's David Smith.
Yeah, Great Britain goes from one end of the field to the other and kicks their 7th goal in this game. We are approaching the halfway point of the second quarter as we're both ready to have the ball up. Alejandro Marin, the ruckman, very lanky ruckman for Colombia, seeing if he can gain some control for Colombia. And there's a player down for Colombia. Was he fouled unfairly? It looks like he was. It'll be a free kick for Colombia. Players shake hands, though, so nice to see some sportsmanship there.
There have been some testy moments in this tournament. They've been thankfully, they've been very quickly, but by and large, the sportsmanship and the camaraderie has been second to none by these teams, and that's what makes this tournament so great. As they look down the middle, almost taken off the hands there by Morris, going after it, and now we have a whistle. And we have a free kick, or do we? Well, they're
head of the mark, bring it back, please.
There, as you can hear, umpire Murray, and Again, our thanks to the good folks at eThere Live, and our thanks to the umpires as well for allowing us to have them mic'd up so we can hear them at home. And perhaps it's not only for our benefit, as Morris goes up the far side, there was a whistle, and looks like it looks like it was the umpire said play on. I think the trailing umpire may have said to play on because we didn't hear it. In any event, they get the ball free into the middle of the ground. There's a whistle.
24, you're holding him, white ball.
And there is, again, you hear 24 yellow. That's Javier Souza, who held the player off the ball. Just to finish the thought, David, obviously for our benefit, because they're so far away, we can hear it through our headphones, but it's good for the people at home to hear as well. Perhaps for those who might be watching Aussie Rules for the first time to get some explanation as to what's happening out there.
Absolutely good learning experience for all of us. There's a mark there in the forward 50 for Great Britain. Should be too far to score. Didn't see the number, but another trip inside forward 50 for Great Britain. Here's the kick. It goes high. It goes towards the goal square. Can Great Britain get it? There's a Colombian player down. They do clear. There's a big bump. The ball is under some players there. And it's going to be, as you can hear, the umpire's ball. There'll be a ball up here, just inside the forward 50 arc for Great Britain. It's up.
And underway once again, and knocked forward now, and out of it, a touch of a ball there. There's Reese Evans off of one step. Somebody out the pack, and that one bounces through. And
it's a goal.
Oh, it's a goal. Well, wow. That was very close, and I was curious.
I was sure it went off something, but apparently not.
Otherwise, it would have been there.
Yeah, you just hear the umpire explaining to the fullback what exactly happened. It is, in fact, Reese Evans who has kicked the 8th goal of the game for Great Britain, and that is his first. So on the Payable app scoreboard, 8-6-54 to 1 behind. The Bulldogs the lead. And tell you a little bit about Reese Evans. He plays for the West London Wildcats, a Bath native. Usually plays on defense, but he also plays for the Caulfield Bears of the Southern Football and Netball League in Melbourne, Australia.
Here we go. Colombia gets forward a little bit. Looks like a free kick. See if they can explore the visitmississauga.ca end of the ground. Certainly been a dominating performance for Great Britain so far in this game. That's a high kick. A lot of players around the ball here. No one's able to mark. It's going. Tobin picks it up. Kick a bit of a scrubby kick. Great Britain retains control.
Ooh.
That's jumps for it was number 5, Andrew, but couldn't take it down. That ball goes over the boundary and will be a boundary throw-in.
Kai Andrew almost got higher than Joe Cocker to slap that ball down. Plays for the Cardiff Panthers out of Wargrave, 22 years of age. Just started playing Aussie Rules last year. I'll tell you what, he keeps it up. Some eyes in Australia might be peering in on him as they get it away. And once again, great smother as
Adam Kelly of the Manchester Mosquitoes.
He marked upon it, return to sender, but address unknown. We had to do it again because, that's a good bit. As the umpire tosses the ball, it goes spinning
I would have sang along, but nobody wants that.
Listen, nobody wants me to sing, and I really don't care because I'm having a good time. I know y'all are having a good time. And listen, in spite of what you might be seeing in the YouTube comments, a lot of the players, and we want to thank the players, not only just so much for their kind words, and we've had a lot of the parents and a lot of other folks have come up to us. Listen, if it weren't for the very talented men and women as the ball goes out of bounds once again in front of us, fellas, that's okay. As getting tangled up there was Callum Jenkinson with Brian Cerna. It's all right. It didn't last too long. Just to finish the thought, a lot of parents, we're glad that you guys are enjoying this at home. We hope that you're having as much fun as we are bringing this to you. This is an incredibly unique tournament. The free kick has been picked out, and it's been picked out to Oscar Marin, the captain, and not happy on one side of us. We're not sure. But here is Marin with the football with 5 to go here until halftime.
As far as I'm concerned, it's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes for this broadcast, but off hands there for defense for Great Britain. Adam Kelly gets it forward, and there's a mark by number 24, Coughlin. There's some space here now for Great Britain. Can't connect with Reese, but it's picked up by Great Britain. Kicks towards their forward 50. It's going towards the boundary. Doesn't reach. 16 is Louis. It's kicked from the boundary line. It's sort of a picked up goal there by Tucker. Wow, almost got that in the face. Picked up by Great Britain.
Did.
And that, I believe that's out on the full.
And
kind of a scrambly play there, off of heads and kicked in weird directions. But
one cheer was playing Soviet rules. Football kicks you. We only have one team, the Reds, as the ball is now for that. We have no Blues, just Reds.
Brian Barish is here all week. Anyway, here's a kick towards the
Try
middle.
the veal.
Oh, there's a leap by Tucker, but he doesn't get his hands on it. Great Britain still with control. Here is Roberts, I believe, but that's a intercept mark. But well, they play on.
And here
Might have been touched to the middle. That's through the hands of Fearon.
And now through the inside, they're going to send this one in. There are 3 white jumpers there, and the tallest man didn't win the contest. It bops out. Going up to pick that one is Tucker. Shoves his man off the football there in Espinoza. Now they go in, throw a blanket over. 10 players are all down mushroom farming. Get me a good one, boys, and we'll have a ball up dead in front. 3 minutes to go here until halftime here on Payable Apps. Brian Barish alongside
David
Smith, thank you. I don't know if it's just the humidity or whatever, so if you hear me swallow a lot, I do apologize.
If you're a wrestling fan, you'll remember that the British Bulldog was Davey Boy Smith, so make that connection for this game. His real name was David Smith, so we shared a name.
There we go, and now a free kick has been pointed out, and it has been to Patrick Statham. And Statham will go back. He'll traverse the 50-meter arc. He will kick from about 40, sends this one up on the way. It is tailing to the left, and the umpire says 1 point. 7th minor score on the Payable Apps scoreboard. They go to 8-7-55. Colombia 1 behind, and we will catch you up at halftime with all the action that occurred earlier today. This, of course, the 3rd and final game of the 3rd and final day of group play. We'll head into the semifinals in 2 days' time. In the men's division, of course, semifinal play right here, thanks to eThere Live and the AFL Canada YouTube page. That begins tomorrow, and the play begins at 10 a.m. as a whistle was blown. This was going to come all the way back. Just a quick note, tomorrow it'll be the 5th place consolation match as France will play Colombia. A rematch of the opening game, one of the opening games of the tournament, where Colombia got their first ever win in international Aussie rules football, doing so on the women's side. It'll be followed by the European group semifinal as Ireland will play Great Britain, and then it'll be USA and Canada who will face for the 11th time in their history in the semifinal, that beginning at 2 p.m. Eastern time.
Here's a kick down the line. Great Britain still keeping it in their forward 50. All the players around the ball. There's Aguirre. Picked up by Colombia. Handball. There's a nice handball, but was he tackled without the ball? Did he have no, the free kick holding the ball, so it has been given to Great Britain.
You had it, you lost it.
And it's going to be up. They give it to Great Britain. Well, lots of whistles. And it's going to be, we're going to have areas, we have a man down, thank you. And this is down as we take a look in the goal square. One of the Colombian players is down. We'll keep an eye on it for you. and they are calling for a substitution.
Multiple guys, but I hear you. Yeah.
They are telling him to give him some air. They want them to back up a little bit as the training staff comes in. We have roughly, that's an unofficial clock, remember, about 36 seconds to go.
To talk a little bit about that fifth-place game for the women, certainly one of the more memorable moments here in this tournament was that win by the Colombian women against France. The pure joy that team had after that victory is something I'll certainly remember forever.
Yeah, me too. And, that's the great thing about this. And I think about, like, the 2017 International Cup with the European Crusaders in Pakistan. And, Pakistan was a team just like Colombia, just getting to the tournament was a win as they are helping him off the ground. And, in fact, they're calling for a blood rule. So if you're not familiar with Aussie rules football, if you have blood on your person or on your jumper, you have to leave the ground and get that stitched up. We are just trying to keep an eye on who that is there, but they did not take him through the interchange gates, and I imagine, I think that might be in where he may be done for a period of time. So we are getting set to start once again, but yeah, just to finish the thought, both of those teams had 4 pretty heavy defeats in that 5th game where they played each other. Pakistan, who had lost, I think, something like 672-6, and they got more joy out of those 6 points than I think I've seen at any level in this sport. And that's what made this. And just like you said, David, seeing the joy of the Colombian women's team when that final siren went off. And let me tell you, I mean, a lot of whispers around here. Even just hearing from our good friend Troy Thompson over at World Footy News, don't sleep on the Colombians, and they will have an opportunity. At least France, who's had, kind of a tough go in this tournament, they've been doing their best. They have to keep their heads up as the ball goes in the middle of the ground, going to be handballed around. Can Great Britain steal one last one as we are in time on here in the second period? Again, our clock not official. This one is sent down. There is the siren. 40 minutes down, 40 to go, and it's been all Great Britain Bulldogs, but not for the one of trying for the Colombian Jaguars at halftime here at Humber College in Toronto. It's the Great Britain Bulldogs, 8-7-55. Los Jaguares de Colombia, one behind. And yeah, look, this has been for Colombia, what are they doing right so far, David? What do you think?
I think it's the spirit, nature of their game. They're in the contest all the time. When the ball is on the ground, they're actually winning the ball quite a lot. It's that later point when finding that open player that they don't have the class of the Great Britain Bulldogs.
Yeah, they really do. I think that's the big thing, and that's one of the reasons why the Bulldogs, they've been the class of the competition so far. Again, they are the only undefeated team remaining after Ireland went down earlier today to the United States in a 53-51 thriller. And so Great Britain, they already know they're on, and I think for them it's just a matter of, again, just staying healthy and making sure no one gets hurt, but also feel like you get a run in and stay fit for the last one. We just want to update you and tell you that was Daniel Rosales who is down for Colombia. He just came by us. Looks like he has a cut above his eye. They're working on him now. So just really quick before we go, David, we of course have the Powerwood game MVPs. Of course, Powerwood.com. Custom cedar supplies done right. They are cedar suppliers based in Western Canada. Who are some of the players you're keeping an eye on? Perhapsably, we'll make up a word as we go for that MVP award.
Oh, yeah, a game like this where you have a team leading by 54 points, there's certainly a lot of players that could be. Maddie Morris, certainly Oliver Louis is the 2 goals. Matthew Gallagher certainly has been a factor on top of his 2 goals. Adam Kelly. So it's there's a lot of players to choose from for sure.
Yeah, I think Kai Andrews getting involved. Yeah, he's getting involved well. I like the play of Matty Morris, who's very quietly done some good link-up play.
Matty Morris has been really good all tournament. Every game he certainly is a factor and a tough player to play against here for whoever the opposition is.
Yeah, very much so. And they're a tough side, and we saw that against the USA, and we saw that in their opening game against Canada. We're going to take a chance to step aside. We hope you'll do the same, but more importantly, we'll hope you come back. The second half of this one will be right on the other side of this break. You're watching the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, thanks to Payable apps. Payable apps.
AFL has huge potential, not only in Colombia, but also Latin America. And Orica is really excited to be part of that story.
Los lazos humanos entre Colombia y Australia son de una importancia altísima. Para ambos países el deporte es algo muy importante en la vida. Tenemos las culturas muy similares en este sentido, con los valores de equidad de género, de participación. En la cancha todos somos iguales.
Mi vida siempre se basó en el tema del deporte, porque el deporte a mí me salvó de todo aspecto posible, que normalmente en la juventud no. El tema de alcohol, de vicios y demás, a mí llegó a mi vida fue el deporte. En el 2019 tuve un accidente de tránsito donde las oportunidades de volver a tocar una cancha eran nulas. Aún los médicos me dicen, tú cero deporte, cero correr, jugar, saltar, deportes de contacto. Siento que mi familia en esa parte forma un pilar importantísimo. Mi mamá estuvo conmigo y me cuidó como nadie lo hizo, porque era la que tenía y se aguantaba la de mamá, no quiero a nadie en este momento.
AFL Colombia has the potential to have long-lasting impacts in the communities. Entonces, Alejandro, Oscar y Estefanía, we chose these players as the future leaders because they showed throughout the selection process and throughout their time in the organisation that they are future leaders and they are really focused on developing others.
O sea, la idea es crecer aún más, estar en un nivel alto para así poder llegar y enseñarle a todos a mis compañeros.
Para mí la beca es una oportunidad enorme, una oportunidad que no se le presenta a cualquiera, una oportunidad que ya tenía mi nombre destinado en ello. Voy a vivir siempre agradecida con este deporte porque me dio una luz. Porque yo vivía mi vida, después del accidente, vivía mi vida, pero no era feliz. Cuando conocí el deporte y empecé a jugar de nuevo, y mi vida está de testigo, mi vida cambió.
That's the culmination of a lot of work for a lot of people. A heap of people have contributed to this, and it's great to see them living out their dreams, and you know, we're all very excited for them, and it's going to be great.
Great news, sports teams. Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Setup is easy. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider, share, and get paid. Players can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more, streamlining the process for them, all while you stay organized with real-time updates. Registrations, uniforms, races, sponsorship, clinics, coaching, training, and classes. Keep it simple with Payable Forms.
back here at Colonel Samuel Smith Park on the campus of Humber College in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. This is the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup presented by Payable Apps. And we are here thanks to eThere Live and the AFL Canada YouTube. We are at halftime of this third and final game of the third and final round of the men's competition here. Brian Barish alongside David Smith. Let's take a quick look at Vision Glass Toronto, the standings. They are GTA exotic car experts, auto glass, convertible tops, and sunroofs, and they make your insurance claim process easy. Now, it must be mentioned that the 6 teams are divided into 2 groups, essentially the European teams and the American teams, and these standings work heading into today. So Ireland are now 2-1. France with a victory are 2-1. And unfortunately for them, because only 2 of the 3 teams in each group, David, it looks like France is going to miss out. And unless something changes, Canada at 0-3 are going to sneak into the semifinals.
Bit of the quirk of the setup of this tournament, but certainly unfortunate for France, where they have a winning record and will not go forward in terms of being able to carry aloft the AFL Transatlantic Cup presented by Payable Apps.
Yeah, and of course we had 2 games earlier today where the U.S. had a bit of an upset. It's their first win over Ireland in 19 years as they defeated Ireland 8-5, 53 to 7-9, 51. And in the second game, the game that you just saw, France 10-7, 67 over Canada 7-2, 44. Third quarter about to get underway. And to get us underway, here's David Smith.
There's the ball up off of Colombian hands, but then it goes right to the Bulldogs. Here's a handball for 27, Stephen Walton. Ooh. Kicks it forward. And
it is a downfield free kick. And I think we did actually see the collision there. And he was taken down without the football. So it will be a free kick towards the visitmississauga.ca end.
Good. From the play on! Under the tree, here's a handball. Here's a chance for Great Britain. Kick towards goal, but does that even get one? Was Matthew Gallagher with that kick.
And I think it's gone out of bounds. In fact, it has.
Out of bounds, but not out of bounds in the full. So it's a boundary throw in the pocket for the Great Britain scoring end. Excuse me.
As ball comes spinning back in the play. Going to get knocked down. Players out in front. What happens if both commentators are coughing? As this one is kicked out now. And that one is, excuse me, there we go. As this one is kicked out. This one goes up high, picked off. That went about 15.01, but Matty Morris, and we were both talking during the break how impressed we both are so far of him. And that one is bodied down, going to get picked up. Here come the Jaguars the other way. Ski jump ball. Who wants it? Everybody. Who's got it? Oh! Flying high. And he almost took the Payable Apps mark of the tournament there, did Welton, or one of them anyway. And the ball bounces up high, and they have to skedaddle back in defense. Good pressure now, but he took him down without the football. And that unfortunately ends that, and they will play, and they will go quickly. As they give it to Ross Denton there, the number 7. Check that, that's the number 1, Oliver Reese. And Reese will go up the far side. Ball hit the ground, play on, says the umpires. It goes down, and it's going to get taken. They will play on. Then they'll have a bounce. Looks for a second, sends this one on the left foot towards the pocket, out the back, through the hands of Louis, who has 2 off the ground. And there's a goal.
Oliver Louis with his 3rd of the game. Pick up and kick through the sticks. So that's another goal for Great Britain, their 9th.
The old pick and kick.
Yep.
As opposed to pick and bricks, which was just happening over here in the Distillery District here in Toronto. But on the Payable Apps scoreboard with 2.5 gone in this third term, 9-7-61 for Great Britain. And just the 1 point for Colombia. It's a 10-goal difference between the sides.
I'm sure the Distillery District is beautiful, but you should. Visit Mississauga with hundreds of must-see experiences, plenty of gorgeous scenery, world-class eats and events. Mississauga is yours to explore.
Go to visitmississauga.ca as the ball comes back in the middle once again. Man, I've got Pete finishing my sentences. I've got David finishing my sentences. I got my wife finishing my sentences.
And I've only met you. I only met you 5 days ago.
Right. Well, as it picked up, here's another one. And, well, let's see what happened. Did it sneak in? Yes, it did. Just inside. And give that one to Matthew Gallagher. That's 3 for him. And now Louis and Gallagher are matching each other goal for goal. 10th goal of the afternoon for the Bulldogs. They go to 10-7, 67. Columbia still 1 point.
Yeah, we'll go.
Louis and Gallagher are in a battle just to see who can score kick the most goals in this game. Columbia certainly needs to try to stop the bleeding here. As great, it's been all in one direction so far in this third quarter.
And the Bulldogs at this point, they are on pace to, well, as I was going to say, maybe just behind the pace of breaking the tournament high so far for points, which is 140 by the Irish women's team over the Colombian women's counterparts.
And Matthew Gallagher is the youngest player on the Great Britain Bulldogs, so you could say he's a dynamite kid.
He really is, and he that's for you wrestling fans, I guess. Is that what that is?
Indeed, there's some wrestling references there. My apologies to all the non-wrestling fans out there.
I mean, listen, I've been making an Australian comedy record all weekend, and you know, so I mean, to each their own. As the ball gets taken down, this one is kicked up on the far side, and it was going to bounce. Sits up nicely, and going back the other way as the wind picks up and blows everything around is George Bowman. He's going to play up on the far side. I'm sure his ancestors were pretty good archers, and this one is sent in. Here's an opportunity for Columbia. Hello, the ears go up. Oh, right into the pad, and it is a behind. And if you're not familiar with Aussie rules, any contact with the post, it's an automatic behind, even if it bounces back into the field of play, even if it bounces in. But hey, Columbia has their first point since they scored the first point of the game. It's now a 65-point difference. 5 gone, third term, Payable app scoreboard. Here is David Smith.
Some handballs in the midfield by Great Britain. After the ball is number 8, Adam Kelly, and I think he was pushed it back. So that'll be a free kick for him. Great Britain leading by 65. Centimeter perfect kick to number 15, Paul Sever. Kick towards their forward 50, Alejandro Marin picks it up. The lanky ruckman there for...
Oh, goodness. Oh, he picked his pocket. It's somebody called the Toronto PD. I want to report a robbery. Kai Andrew. And he scores a goal oblivious to the carnage behind him. And that
was so fast, I didn't even see it.
No. He was like the Roadrunner. Meep, meep. And that's the 11th goal of the game. 11-7, 73, Great Britain. And 2 behinds for Columbia. And listen, you know, you got Josh Kennedy over there. You've got Travis Crockett. You've got a number of the support staff over there. They have to tell their players, they have to get the runner out there and say, look, keep your head up. Because, I mean, this is, you know, you've got another 43 minutes to play, 33 minutes to play, beg your pardon. You're going to be out there for some time. You got to keep going and trudge through. And rushing through again was Tucker. He rustles up this one and sends this one in at one, hops in. They are queuing up. This is a long, long bomb, but it only goes off for 1 point, full of sound and fear. That was one of Aunt Becky's cookies. Looked good coming out of the oven and crumbled into a behind in the end. 11-8, 74 to 2 points. Payable app scoreboard.
That's off the boot of Coughlin. So Columbia taking their time coming out of their defensive goal square. Kick in a dangerous position, and Great Britain maybe another opportunity. Alejandro Marin gets a hand on it. Now he gets a hand on, a couple hands on the Great Britain player. And this will be a ball up. Still in the Visit Mississauga.ca end. The Great Britain scoring in. The grass is getting trampled in that end for sure in this quarter. Columbia still trying hard, still in the contest, but certainly Great Britain's class is showing through.
It's like Led Zeppelin. It's getting trampled underfoot as this one is sent in off the turnaround kick by Alejandro Marin. Sends this one long and then going out. 2 men there for the Bulldogs. They're going to change the scenery out to the near side. Drops in front of Louis. Louis plays this one on quick quickly, and all through the hands. Dropped what he should have taken there. Going to get picked up and sending that one in was Gallagher. That was Coughlin rather, should have had it, and the umpire spreads his arms as if he's landing at the airport up on the islands. And that football, of course, all of our football is brought to you by the Australian High Commission, responsible for advancing Australia's interest here in Canada. You can get more information at canada.embassy.gov.au. As they will bring the ball back into play, will the Colombians, once they wrench it from the bushes. Brian Barish alongside, as they call in for reinforcements, Brian Barish alongside David Smith. Glad to have you along. And of course, the semifinals begin tomorrow. We'll have semifinal action tomorrow and Friday. Tomorrow's action will begin at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you're watching us on the west coast of the U.S., it's 7 o'clock a.m. Bless you, child. And it's going to be midnight if you're watching on the east coast of Australia. And then the men's semifinal will be at 9:30 a.m. That'll be 11:30 p.m. on the east coast of Australia.
11 o'clock Atlantic time for those watching from home. Kick in the midfield, picked up by 36 Bowman. That's not marked, but gain control still by Great Britain. Kick towards the pocket. Around was Welton.
Ooh.
Colombia still trying to defend. They're certainly no shortage of spirit here. They've had to defend a lot throughout this game. And this will be a boundary throw-in in the forward 50 of the Great Britain Bulldogs.
I think they've really picked up the pace so far, David. I think that, I should have said they shouldn't let their heads down, and you don't want to dip too much after a goal. I mean, look, let's be real. I think the result is gone as there was a good mark on 2 bites of the cherry there. And, you've got to, right now, you have to take all the positive things you can out of this trip. Oh, almost taking a nice mark, but being worn on a coat there was Damian Marin, the other Marin player, as looks like a rugby scrum. Going to get down, and here is Alejandro Marin, who will clean out the lanky center half back. Sends this one in through the hands. Here comes Colombia. Here we go. And Vámonos, chicos. As this one is sent in, it will roll. It'll skip. It's a 3-on-1 situation, but here come Los Jaguares. And now up on the far side. Big tackle. Ball, cried the crowd. Ball, says the umpire. And Colombia will have their opportunity. And going back, and he's saying take his time. He is going for goal. That's Fabian Palacios. And Fabian Palacios plays for the OG team, the Bogota Bulldogs, 32 years of age. And he is about 2 kicks from goal. The wind blowing in his face, kicking towards the Toronto City side. Goes off to the side. Who wants it? But that is taken, and that has fallen apart like a flan in a cupboard. On the Payable, I have scoreboard. Great Britain leading 74-2. 9 to go, third term.
Great Britain clearing it out of their defensive 50, kicks to the wing. That wasn't marked by Adam Kelly, but they continue on with Coughlin. Coughlin kicks towards number 22, David Hodgson, and gets the mark. He plays on. Will he kick for goal? I think he will. Looking pretty good. No, just went right, and that will be a behind for the Bulldogs. On the Payable apps. Scoreboard, it's Great Britain, 11 goals, 9 behind, 75 points, and 2 behind, 2 points for Colombia.
They'll play it on quickly out the far side now. Nice mark, and that is a great intercept mark. And just looking for the football now. They're going to play this on quickly. They'll decide to go in short. Going to get taken down, trying to push S1, push it forward, shove it forward. Little handball. And now there's Coughlin around the body, but also through for another minor score. They are peppering the goals here, are the Bulldogs. 11-10, 76 to Colombia, 2 behinds. And 8 minutes to go here in the third term.
Yes, they're trapping the ball certainly in the Visit Mississauga.can, but you wouldn't be trapped if you're in Mississauga because it's yours to explore.
Absolutely, and like we said, we've been eating some of the food there. I know of at least 2 restaurants in Mississauga that we've enjoyed going to, and you absolutely should. As he dropped the pill, no call. I think now they're going to call it. Yes, he is, and a good tackle put in there by Ross Denton. No, in fact, it is a high contact, I believe. But either way, Colombia will have the free kick. Oh, almost taking a mark of the day was Reese Evans, thanks to Payable apps. As the ball gets knocked down, we have a whistle and a free kick. And here is Great Britain. Well, they have certainly been a couple of high flyers there. And no, we didn't give it to them. It's going to be a 50-meter penalty. And that perhaps is some of the inexperience or perhaps some frustration. But in any event, it is not Conklin, but no, in fact, sorry, Dave, it is David Hodgson who has a goal already.
Didn't see what the original call was, but I think perhaps a high tackle, perhaps?
He did catch him high. So Hodgson, who is as if he was in Niagara Falls, New York, just on the other side of the border. He's 49 meters out. Strides forward. Loads up. All the berries on the right foot. And that is another sausage roll for a country that does love their sausage roll. Second in the game for Hodgson, 12th for Great Britain. The Doggies, 12-10, 82. 12-10, good buddy. And Colombia 2 behinds. 80 points separates the sides. And David Hodgson, we've talked about him a couple of times. As we mentioned, the man out of Newcastle upon Tyne. 32 years of age, and actually he plays for the Tyne Tigers. We're actually talking to him yesterday, the other day. He's married. His wife is from California. She's here to support him. So great to see. As we mentioned, we'll have a ball up here, and then we'll turn it over to David. All the family members who have come here from all over the world for this tournament. It's great to see their support, not only supporting these players, but also supporting this game. We'll keep it right here as this one is inside 50. Juggling mark taken. Chomp, swallow. And that is Ross Denton. And that could be a Payable Apps mark of the tournament, or Payable ARPS if you prefer. And Denton will go back. Yes. Try saying that 10 times fast with a mouthful of mashed potatoes. I will not, as here he strides in 20 meters out. The umpire steps forward and says, 2 pies, please. He gives the 2-finger salute you can't show on TV. 13-10, 88, Great Britain. 2 behinds Colombia. 5 minutes to go, third term. And I think the Jaguars players are going to be very happy to see that 3/4 time sign.
Yeah, it's been all one direction in this third quarter, even more so than the first half. And I haven't kept track of how many in this quarter, but it just seems like the ball's going through the big sticks every time we look at it. And
I was going to say, it's been all one direction for Great Britain, and it's been all 98 degrees for Colombia.
Oh, my God. Anyway, Colombia does come down with the ball.
I'm on vacation, dude. I'm having fun. This is fun.
We've had great fun here in the broadcast booth, day 6 of the AFL Transatlantic Cup. Presented by Payable Apps. Great Britain with the kick. And it goes over, but goes beyond. Tobin picks up the ball. Sends it back on. That's a nice tackle.
Great tackle.
But it's kind of keep away, give away there. And this will be a ball up. And that's just outside the... no, it's a free kick given to Tobin. So... just what the Great Britain Bulldogs needed is another free kick. Here we go. Oh, attempted mark there. Still going towards the goal. Colombians defending well. That ball towards the middle. Works out though. Alejandro Marion gets it back. That was a nice play. Kick towards midfield. But there's the intercept mark there by Great Britain.
I think if you're looking at best players for Colombia, I'm going to call him Colorado. Oh my goodness, it's been a long day. I think Alejandro Marin has to be up there along with Julian Corrales. I really like his play, young Marin.
Very, very young. Really been impressed with every game. Young, lanky individual. You think if he grows into his body a little bit, gets stronger, he could be a real factor in those contested mark contests. Be the real potential there.
North London Lions Jack Conklin sends this one on the way left. It's not going to fade on the breeze at all, and it takes a big bounce. It's still in play though. Goal mount scramble in front. Coughlin is going to take this. Ooh, nice mark. And he shoves away his defender. And oh no! Wait a minute. Hang on. No, it is. He's just coming around. There was a little bit shove after that, but the umpire says we're not going to give it away, so he'll get a second opportunity. Very rare for you to do that as heels are touching the 50-meter arc, as the umpire brings him around. You have to be sort of in square with the center spot of the goal. Coughlin a little bit closer from a more tight angle, and once again he has sprayed that to the left, but this time at the very least he gets 1 point out of it. Just over 2 minutes to go third term. Great Britain 13-11-89. Colombia 2 behinds. And we have a whistle.
20. You get it cleaned up.
We have a blood rule situation, so the clock will pause for a moment. And again, if you're new to Aussie rules.
Already had a bandage on his head now, another blood situation. Sounds like a tough tournament for him.
I was going to say, listen, with two, you get buy two, get one free at this point is what it sounds like. And again, if you're not familiar with Aussie rules, the blood rule is if you have blood on your person or if you have blood on your uniform, you have to go off and get either cleaned up, either stitched up or a new jump or whatever, but you can't play with blood on you. That is what that rule is for. It's something that's been in the game a long time, and that one is speared and marked, and almost catching that in self-defense, I believe, was either Gallagher or...
Perfect.
It is, in fact, Gallagher, who has 3 already.
That was Daniel Rosales, who came off in the blood rule. I believe the second time he's had to come off.
Yeah.
he's got a tough game.
Yeah, he's got a bandage on his head, and... he is going to get one somewhere else, I think on his arm. So this, meanwhile, is Gallagher, who has 3 goals today. With 1 minute to go, will try and stretch the lead. The kick is up on the way. It is straight and majestic like a flatulent moth. That's the 14th goal of the game for Great Britain. 14-11-95. Colombia 2 behinds, 93 points, and another 4 for Matthew Gallagher.
How majestic is a flatulent moth?
Well, you know how you can tell when that happens is it flies in a straight line. Because normally they don't fly in a straight line, and when you do, well, that's another story. But
you'll have to explain that one to me later.
Yeah. It's a George Carlin routine.
Oh, okay.
See, again, stealing once is plagiarism. Steal it more than twice is research, as the horn goes mercifully, and that is the end of the third term here from Humber College in Toronto. Your score. It's the Great Britain Bulldogs, 14 goals, 11 behinds, 95 points. Colombia 2 behinds. And we talked about how good Great Britain is doing, and it's pretty obvious on the scoreboard. But Colombia, their spirit is really good. We've said that word a lot. But you know what? There's a couple of players on there that are just not giving up. And we've seen some good passages of play. We've seen some flashes of brilliance from them.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's going to always be tough. I mean, look, this is always going to be tough against a team of this standard. But you know what? Getting here was a win.
Yes.
And now they have this learning experience, and they're going to have to take that, not only their personal experiences for a lifetime, but they're going to go back home. We may see more than 2 teams in the Colombian League, not in the near future. They have to be sponges at this point and really just kind of soak in this entire experience.
There's no substitute for experience.
No.
So you can do all the training you want, but to be in the right position, to receive a handball, to kick it in the right place, to handball it in the right place, so you can know everything in terms of how to do it. It's what to do sometimes that's the important thing. And they're going to learn from this tournament. They still have a couple games after this one. It's going to be a big thing for the program to have gone through this week in a bit.
It looks very certain, almost like they're going to play France in a consolation game, and that's a game where, listen, they battled well against a France team that, look, I think they're going to be very unlucky, because of the tournament format, that they have a winning record, but unfortunately they will not have a chance at the semifinals. So they might be a little angry going up against that French team on Friday morning. We're going to take one final break here for the day and return with the fourth quarter here in Toronto. You're watching the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup thanks to Payable apps, and you're doing so here thanks to eThere Live and AFL Canada.
Aussie Rules the World podcast is a podcast dedicated to bringing our listeners information from international Aussie rules, from news, reports, reviews, and interviews from people dedicated to building Aussie rules internationally. During the Transatlantic Cup, World Footy Shorts will be bringing you daily updates from what's happened from the games and around the event. And this is Aussie Rules, the World podcast.
Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider. Share and get paid. Your customers can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Save time and hassle by automating your payment process quickly and simply. Payable Forms gets you paid.
We're back here in Toronto at Colonel Sam Smith Park on the campus of Humber College, the Etobicoke campus, just downstream on the shores of Lake Ontario. Here as we continue the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup thanks to Payable Apps. It is all Great Britain, not all quite one-way traffic, but mostly it's just everybody leaving the stadium except for the one bloke who's trying to go to the washroom. It is 14-11, Great Britain, 95 points, a 93-point lead over Los Jaguares de Colombia with 2 points. Brian Barish alongside David Smith. And David, you know, we'll check the goal. Let's check the goal kickers real quick thanks to Payable Apps.
I believe I have one missing, but we'll go with what we have on the sheet. Matthew Gallagher leads with 4 goals kicked in this game. Oliver Louis right behind him with 3. We have David Hodgson with 2, and then singles with Reese Evans, Stephen Welton, Ross Denton, and Kai Andrew.
That's 2 more than I had, so I think you're paying attention to this more than I am. They are coming thick and fast, and now the question will be, I mean, this game is, I think the result is no longer in doubt. Great Britain, they have to focus on Ireland, so they don't want any players getting hurt, and clearly we saw what happened with Ireland in that last game. They were in a dogfight with the USA, and it'll be interesting to see who is. It'll be interesting to see who they move up, who they move back, who they rest. We might see some players that we haven't seen yet. 4th and final quarter of the final game here today. Here's David Smith.
Great Britain gains control off the ruck, kicks it again towards the goal. Here's a kick by number 30, Reese Evans, and within seconds, it's the 15th goal for Great Britain. His second of the game. That was lightning quick, and that might be a tournament record in terms of a goal at a beginning of a quarter.
Yeah, we saw we saw a couple actually over the last couple of days where they, in fact, Great Britain over the U.S. In fact, Andy walked in the game, first 20 seconds of the game. So Great Britain raised the bat, as Peter Holden would say, 15-11-101. They've hit the ton, a 99-point lead. Colombia just 2 behinds, and Colombia, who have already suffered a 3-digit thrashing, and here again is Tucker. They are relentless, and that is right off the chest, and a player gets taken down. They'll play on up the far side. The ball squirts out, going to get picked up there by Reese. Reese sends this one up high. Who wants it? It is taken and marked, and as he went sideways, finds Matt Morris. Morris is going to send this one in up the top. It'll roll, it'll skip, it'll hop, it'll jump, and finally going to pick it up. They need to be a little less tentative, as here is Tucker off a 1-step. And wow, Jacob Tucker nice with a possible Payable Apps goal of the tournament off a 1-step from 45 meters out. That's his first. 16-11-107. Great Britain lead is 105.
That kick flew like a Harrier jet. That was just beautiful kick for goal. I was going to say, going into this quarter, you wonder if Great Britain was going to slow the game down to prevent injuries, but when you're just gaining control and kicking towards your own forward 50, there's no need to slow it down, I suppose. They're up to now 16 goals and 107 points. Let's see if Colombia, geez, Alejandro Marin seemed to lose that in the sun.
Plenty of it today, thankfully.
Beautiful blue skies here in Toronto. Yesterday there was quite a bit of rain, which it can be a crazy game in the rain, but certainly none of that today. Hoping that the remnants of Hurricane Debbie, I believe it is, will stay away. Might get some effects on the weather of that on Friday, but we'll see. I'm no weatherman, so Great Britain. Some might say I'm no broadcaster either, but Great Britain currently has it.
Nobody here is saying that, David.
Okay, Matthew Gallagher backwards. Here's a kick towards goal. Bouncing towards the boundary line. And it gets it, and another goal for Great Britain. That is Rhys Evans, his third of the game. And this has been certainly one-way traffic. As more one-way traffic than downtown Montreal.
Yeah, there is a lot, especially downtown Portland.
A lot of construction in Montreal. A little bit here in Toronto as well, but
17-11, 113. The lead is 111 points over Colombia, 2 behinds, and look, it's been. Listen, well, you talked about weathermen. Listen, weathermen and baseball players, meteorologists and baseball players are the only 2 professions where you can be right less than 30% of the time and still be considered a success. As the ball comes back in the middle of the ground, one of the things we're doing kind of on the side here is researching the record for Great Britain in major tournament play. Most points scored, and they go all the way back to 2002 when they played in that first tournament. Of course, they hosted the Atlantic Alliance Cup, and turning, here comes one more probably. No, it's gone off to the side and through for behind.
It's a goal.
He has. There wasn't much
arms.
of a celebration, and I had my eye on the player the entire time. And the man in the skull cap there. And once you turn around, son, we will tell you that it is, once again, it is Evans who has kicked his second in a row. 18-11, 119, Great Britain, 2 behinds left. The tournament high is 140 in 10 less minutes of play, I might add. But Great Britain is headed there quick, fast, and in a hurry.
I would say that could be a contender for Payable App's goal of the tournament. Big turn, big kick. Again, geez, some big kicks here by Great Britain. Particularly in this game, you can just see how accurate and how strong the kicks are. They go a long way. These are not just going over the line. They're going far over the line.
Yeah, they're going halfway over to the lake and into the trees.
Ball in dispute here in the midfield. Whistle goes. Free kick given to Colombia. See if they can get something going. Get something out of this game offensively. No, Tobin picks it up for Great Britain. Kick towards us. Oh, there's a big collision. Who picks it up? Colombia gains control. Oh, tries to go through. Does get a handball away. Though, that's a high tackle. I believe will be a free kick to Great Britain. And there is a Great Britain player down. I believe it's Stephen Welton. And this is
and it looks like time off has been blown, and so we'll have a stoppage in play. I've gotten about halfway through my research here, David, and will tell you that right now, and of course I have to go through the 2005 and this is what we talked about as Welton is coming off and he is hobbling, and this is one of these things we were talking about. They have a very important game coming up. You won't want to see these anybody get injured, and hopefully for Stephen Welton, the number 27 there, as we rustle our notes, the man they call Pup from the 25 years old from the Sussex Swans. Hopefully that is not a serious injury.
You certainly don't want to see, you don't want to see an injury at any time, but to see an injury in a game that's out of reach, you particularly don't want to see that. So looks like play on here. Joseph Lillis with the free kick. Low kick, finds grass, defended by Colombia. That handball goes a little bit awry. Using their feet instead of their hands. There's a tackle by Colombia, tackled number 1, Rhys. And, there's a little aggro going here. A little bit going on here.
A little bit afterwards, but some peacemakers coming in just to make sure.
50 meters downfield.
And this is going to be a 50-meter downfield, and this is going
69.
to put up 69. Are we going to see a card here? Yes, we are. And so we were just going to mention as Santiago Espinoza, and I think, and another one. I'm trying to see. I'm not sure. Somebody from Great Britain did. We're going to figure out who that is in a minute. But a yellow card, which means that he will be off the ground for 10 minutes. It's similar to the rugby. So they will be playing down a man and a 15-meter penalty in addition to that. And I thought I saw a second one, and in fact, I'm wondering if this is it or if this is just a substitution. So a lot of stuff happening here, and we caught the one from umpire Kevin Murray, and
a little frustration there by Colombia.
I think so.
You want to keep your composure even in these sorts of games, but
a
little bit of over emotion there.
And umpire Walter is telling them that that he's off for 10 minutes. So it's not. I could have sworn there was a second yellow card in there. Unfortunately, sorry folks, there was a lot of stuff happening, but there was a 50-meter penalty paid. So and meanwhile, to the best of our knowledge, the clock is running down. And so now we will restart again. So there might be some time on, but in any event.
This will be Rees for the kick for goal.
Yep, looking for his first.
And it looks like he gets it. They're coming around him there. Quite excited for Rees. He's a defender, so always exciting when they kick goals. He is from the Cardiff Panthers, a 30-year-old. Lots of national team experience. His teammate Callum Newman's son's godfather.
Yeah.
So another physiotherapist by trade. So
there's a lot of them about, which is pretty good because it means we're in decent enough hands, I guess.
Well, his teammates might be happy for that, perhaps, if they need some work done.
So here, by the way, I finished my research, and that is that the most points, and this is kind of poignant, considering world politics at the moment. The Great Britain Bulldogs in round one of the 2008 International Cup, defeating the Perez Team for Peace, which was a initiative coached by Robert Dipir Domenico, which was an Israeli and Palestinian mixed team. And Great Britain 2015 135, defeating the Peace Team 128. So 135 points is the record for most points in a game by the Great Britain Bulldogs as we're underway once again. And I think they're getting, it's not going to change anything, but on the other hand, you don't want to let up too much. You also don't want to see anybody get hurt, and he gets taken down here.
Certainly is a balance. You can get in some bad habits, but as we've already seen a British player that could have been hurt. We don't know how seriously, but it's definitely a balance in any of these circumstances.
So handball out quickly, and now sending this one down the line. And this will run, charging in after it, and just almost keeping it in play was Evans, who is tied with Matthew Gallagher for the game high with 4. Oliver Louis has 3. David Hodgson 2. Welton, Tucker, Rees, Andrew, and Denton all with 1.
I think we're missing one there, but we're getting close anyway.
Yeah. Bingo can only count to full tank as the ball gets knocked down, and there's a whistle. Umpire crosses his arms like the Monsignor, and again.
Gentlemen, we stop. Thank you.
Yeah, and hey, great job by umpire Kevin Murray, one of the best in the business, saying, look, I blew the whistle, stop with the roughhousing. Ball gets knocked down, and once again, there is Rosales, who is much the worse for wear, and finds a good kick. Some good skills by the Colombians. Zuleta finds it across. Couldn't get the handle, though. Here's Corrales, turns this one free, goes in. And this one is sent forward, going up high, and a nice mark taken. He'll play on quickly, going out into the pocket, and once again, they are being sucked in, are the Bulldogs, or rather are the Jaguars, and there's a mark taken. Great job picking off Andrew, and they will go to send it back the other way. They are trying to. Corrales goes forward and finds Palacios, who will release for Colombia.
Tries to break through too many players. That'll be holding the ball. Free kick to Great Britain. One of the things new players sometimes do is try to break through too many players, and he certainly paid the price there as Oliver Rees. Is it Oliver?
It is Oliver Rees.
It's not Oliver Rees. It's on the sheet. So he gets the free kick. taking his time, which is a good plan right now, I think, for Great Britain. They don't need to score anymore. They don't need a greater lead, but they just want to see this game out. Wow, that's a nice direct kick. Little bit. Oh, there's a mark.
Great mark.
Great mark there.
Great contested mark.
That will be a tough angle, but certainly close to the goal. This is 16.
Yep. This is Louis, who has 3.
Trying to tie his 2 teammates for the goal-scoring lead for the game. Goes around, kicks, and yeah, that's perfect. And that's his 4th goal. And that could be a Payable Apps goal of the tournament.
20th goal by Great Britain, and I think that might be, well, no, we had Ireland score 20 goals as well, but 2011, 131. As we mentioned, Great Britain's record in major international competition is 135. And, it's party time at this point for Great Britain. And look, yeah, you're right, it is that balance. I mean, you don't want to, and you certainly don't want to show up Colombia. I think you show them up if you back off too much. It would be interesting to see. You know, we've seen a bunch of these players now that have a bag of goals. Maybe soon, put the cue in the rack and maybe get some of the defenders up. We've seen one at least. As this one goes in, not a great kick. As that one goes into the pocket, digging after it is Connor Jeffrey. That's a name we haven't called yet. There you go. Little handball, turns free, gets away from one. Squares up for a goal and squeezes it. No. Yes, he did. Squeezes it inside, does Kai Andrew, and that's his 2nd. And that is a new record in tournament play in major intercontinental tournament play for the Great Britain Bulldogs. 21-11, 137. Colombia 3 behinds, and it's goal kicking practice at this point, Dave.
It really is, and they've kicked straight.
Yeah.
They've been pretty efficient. Everything that can go wrong for Colombia is because not only are they getting down there a lot, when they kick it, it goes straight. And, a lot of difficult goals in this game.
Yeah.
Turnaround kicks, long kicks. It's been impressive performance by Great Britain just in terms of their ability to score goals from difficult situations.
They are torquing the football, and that football, of course, brought to you by the Australian High Commission to Canada, responsible for advancing Australia's interest in Canada. Go to canada.embassy.gov.ua as they play it up the far side, and it'll be sent back from whence it came. As this one goes through, it'll bounce, it'll skip, it'll hop, it'll go out of bounds. So just to set the scene for you, because I think things have been pretty much locked in. France and Colombia, it will actually be the same 3 matchups in the exact same order over tomorrow, which is the women's competition, and in the men's division, which is on Friday. Colombia will play France. It's a 9:30 start on Friday for the men, 10 o'clock tomorrow for the women. It'll be Great Britain and Ireland. That's the middle game. That's 11:40. That'll be tomorrow. It'll be at noon. Friday will be at 11:45. There's a mark, and taken by Andrew once again. And then the late game, which is at 2 p.m. Eastern both days, will be the U.S. and Canada. That will be some mouth-watering matchups in the semifinal as this one bounces through. Good job of punching that one out the back, but only as far as Hodgson, who wheels around but can't get a clean boot to it. Got the handball off. Good job. Sent that one back right at him. And going to get cleared out once again by Rosales. This one is up high, bodied off the football, no call, bounces up, 3-on-2 situation. Now 3 yellow jumpers in there, good numbers, and then ducking his head, and that should be high contact right in front of us. One Zabala, by Zabala on Gallagher, and he will have the free kick in front of the There Live commentary position with myself and David Smith.
Bowman had original several. It's marking practice now for Great Britain. Here is Joseph Lillis. Handball to Tobin. He can't quite get it clean. Colombians holding it up a little bit. Excuse me. On the ground. Tobin, excuse me. Off hands. Great Britain still in their forward 50. And there's a whistle. There'll be a free kick to Colombia.
Yeah, this is one of the few positives they've gotten. And
You're good.
There we go. So it's going to be given to Aguirre. Nelfred Aguirre. First time we've called his name. And 32 years old from the Bogota Bulldogs. Bogota Bulldogs, the OG club, and the Antioquia
Quick stop there
Lions.
by Kelly, I believe.
Oh, yeah,
is that a goal? It is a goal by Kelly.
And there's the wreck. There's the tournament high. Good catch, David.
He just turned around and kicked it from 45 meters out. It bounces through the sticks, and it's Great Britain's 22nd goal.
22-11, 143 on Payable apps. And Colombia 3 points. That is tied for the highest margin that we've had.
I know it's a 140-point lead, but when you see class and skill like that, it's hard not to get a little bit excited. Yeah. That is that's a long kick, and you're just turning and kicking it. Impressive goal there for Great Britain.
In fact, perhaps a Payable apps goal of the tournament. Payable apps helping sports teams simplify fee collection through their Google add-ons. Go to payableapps.com for more information. 2 minutes to go, and Great Britain, well, they came to play, and for Colombia, thanks for coming. As this one is kicked up on the near side, going to get punched down into the ground, and going after the football, diving over top of it, and watch the heads, fellas. Don't want anybody to get hurt in there. Going to get picked that one up, and bouncing away once again. That's Aguirre, and then sent back. We have tackling off the football, and it will go the way up. And yep, it's well.
Take it through, Walter. Take it through.
And it's going to be, and yep, they are going to bring this one back. And you heard the umpire tell him to bring it back, and this is Callum Jenkinson. Callum Jenkinson in no particular hurry here with 90 seconds to go. And let's see where they're going to place him. He is standing with his toes on the 50-meter line. And let's see if he adds one more to the total, and indeed he does. So give that to Callum Jenkinson, and hey, it's a new goal scorer. 23-11, 149, and now that is the biggest margin in this tournament. And Colombia 3 behinds with 1 minute to go, mercifully, I think, for all and sundry.
I believe both teams will be ready for the horn at this point for different reasons. Great Britain just to make sure there's no injuries, and Colombia certainly. When you're behind by 146 points, it's a mercy situation. The horn right now. Ball on the ground. There is Hoban. Gets it. It's a clean look and mark there. Long kick in the Great Britain forward 50. Players around the ball. Colombia has numbers. Kicks it towards midfield. Colombian player trying to pick it up. We are probably within 15 seconds left. Our clock, of course, being unofficial.
And for Great Britain, well, an exhilarating victory. For Colombia, well, they're going to just have to be as positive about this as possible. As going in there was Lillis, who got a couple of fingers to it. Going to pick this one up is Kai Andrew, and Andrew was taken down. Colombia said, you guys don't need any more goals, really. It's okay. And then, it didn't give the football back straight away. Not giving it back to Palacios, and no need for that, considering. And we did have a couple of injuries, so we are in time on here. As we said, our clock not official. Out to the near side, over the head of two Bulldogs players. And here comes Colombia. Come on, let's do this, fellas, as this one is in the middle of the ground, and this one is sent forward. But nope, they are misers as Adam Reed turns it back, and that is that. Full time in the final game of day 6 and the final game of round robin play here at the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup here in Toronto. The Great Britain Bulldogs, much the best. 23 goals, 11 behinds, 149 points to Colombia, a spirited Colombia, and a team that did not give up one iota, 3 points. And David, there's not much you can say about this, but wow, Great Britain. And you know what? Again, Great Britain's strength is on the scoreboard. We don't need to say much about that. Colombia, you know what? They did a lot of good things right. They kept pressure. There were some good passages of play there.
Absolutely. A lot of pressure. You know, certainly you look at, too, Great Britain had the experience advantage, some size advantage, just the skill and the class of Great Britain. Some of those goals were not easy goals to kick. You know, I think even though this is Colombia, even though it's a blowout, I think if you're the rest of the tournament, if you're Ireland or the other teams that they may face in the final, if they make it past the semi-final, I think you'd be a bit nervous after seeing this performance because they can score goals out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And just like an RKO out of nowhere in wrestling, it can be very dangerous in that case. Just got to get that other wrestling reference in there.
Yeah, thanks. No, and you know, and you're absolutely right. And you know, it's a difficult situation. I think you look at Great Britain. The thankful part is it didn't look like they suffered too many injuries, unlike Ireland, who. You know, unfortunately, it looked like they got banged up, and you have to see, you really have to, you know, figure out how they're going to recover against this Great Britain team. Because I'll tell you what, you know, there's a little bit of recency bias here, and there's only so much you can take over, you know, probably one of the most polished teams against the brand newest team. But yeah, right now with Great Britain taking on Ireland, you almost have to think the Brits are the favorite coming in.
Yeah, as I say, just a classic. And again, goals out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not playing well, if it's a really back and forth game, if you can get a goal out of nowhere, man, that can be a massive advantage because that will give you the momentum. It'll give you some separation. If you have a little bit of a lead, it can give you the lead. And really impressed with those type of skills for Great Britain. So to me, they are my favorite to win the tournament right now.
That's some bold words. That's some very bold words from David Smith. Yeah, a quick look, by the way, now that the game is over, the Vision Glass Toronto final standings, Vision insurance claim process made easy. GTA exotic car experts, auto glass, convertible tops and sunroofs. Final look at the standings. The Great Britain Swans, the only undefeated team of the 6 men's teams with a record of 3-0. They win the group, and it's Ireland edging out France on points percentage for second place for that second spot out of Group B, and it's unfortunate for them, a winning record. They will not make it, but Canada, who make it in as the second place team out of the Americas group, Group A, will play the USA. And you see a great picture on your screen there. The Colombian team and the Great Britain team, even though you look at that score line, football is the winner today, and that is one of the best, and that is the reason we are all here as part of this Transatlantic Cup. You know, they banged and they pushed and they shoved each other, but at the end of the day, you're a footy player who's playing overseas, you're a mate, and you're a mate for life.
Great respect shown by both teams. As you say, there was some points in the game where there was a little bit of aggravation, a couple or at least one yellow card given.
Yep.
But after the game, you respect them. And I think Great Britain has to respect the spirit of the Jaguars of Colombia. And, you know, they're coming in, they're the rookies in international footy, and congrats to them.
All right, Powerwood Apps Game MVP, custom cedar supplies done right, cedar suppliers based in Western Canada. We talked about this guy. Do you want to stick with our original pick?
I think so. Despite there was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I think different goal kickers. I'm giving it to somebody who didn't kick a goal, which is Matty Morris. He's been a factor in every game to me through the pool part of this tournament, and he's my Powerwood MVP of the game. Matty
Morris of the Great Britain Bulldogs, as you see once again the spirit and the camaraderie as the Great Britain Bulldogs and some of the Bulldogs saluting Los Jaguares, the men and the women who came out to watch today. And just to run through all those goal kickers, and we'll tell you that we probably missed at least one. Louis Gallagher and Evans with 4, Andrew with 2, and then 1 each for Rees, Denton, Kelly, Jenkinson, Welton, and Tucker. That will do it for today, and we will kick things off as the semifinals get underway in earnest. Now starting with the women's division, and it will be a 10 o'clock start. First, it'll be the 5th place consolation match as the Jaguares de Colombia will take on Les Gaulois de la France in the 5th place match. The Group B semi-final, it'll be the Irish Banshees against the Great Britain Swans. And that is a noon start Eastern time, followed by the late game at 2 p.m., the Group A semi, as the Canada Northern Lights take on the USA Freedom. The winners of those two semifinals will come back for the grand final on Sunday. We're going to wrap things up here. David Smith, thanks for a great pleasure, our first time out.
It was a pleasure calling a game with you, Brian.
Yeah, not too many trips of the tongue, but we got over the line. Our thanks to you. Our thanks to Pat McNeil. Our thanks to Peter Holden, who is already off to secure the post-game festivities. Our thanks to Adam, Nathan, as well in the truck, our camera people as well, to everybody here, and our thanks, of course, to you at home for watching. We'll see you bright and early at 10 a.m. tomorrow here on the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup. Until then, this is Brian Barish wishing you a pleasant good evening.
Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider. Share and get paid. Your customers can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Save time and hassle by automating your payment process quickly and simply. Payable Forms gets you paid.